I'm just really excited. I'm lucky to be here and to have been drafted here last year, and for this franchise to put so many great resources in front of.
The WNBA is rocked by a seismic shock. Kaitlyn Clark, the league's blazing superstar, has signed a jaw-dropping, unrivaled deal that has flipped the basketball world upside down. Fans are stunned, rivals are scrambling, and the whispers behind this bold move are sparking wild speculation. What's the true story behind Clark's choice? And how will this reshape the future of women's basketball? Stay tuned, because this isn't just another headline. It all began with a rumor, barely a whisper, spreading like wildfire. Kaitlyn Clark might have signed something no one was supposed to know about. Fans had only just adjusted to her explosive rookie season with the Indiana Fever before talks surfaced that she was secretly being courted by UNRIVALED, the daring new startup league with plans to rewrite the game. At first, the idea felt impossible. Didn't UNRIVALED already boast nearly a full roster? Why chase Clark so late in the process? And yet, here we are. Rumors are swirling about a deal powerful enough to tilt the balance of women's basketball. Insiders even hinted at a Messi-level offer being placed on the table. Yes, the kind of numbers compared to Lionel Messi's historic soccer contract. If true, this isn't just about money. This is about turning Clark into the centerpiece of a movement.
Imagine the shock for stars like Angel Reese or Aja Wilson. Players who believed they were the untouchable cornerstones of this new chapter. Suddenly, they may have learned that Clark was being handed the golden key behind closed doors. But what does this really mean for women's basketball? Fans have questioned the timing. UNRIVALED already had its lineup in place, so why scramble for Clark now? Others argue the league simply underestimated her pull. No rookie in recent history has attracted this level of attention. From sold-out arenas to jerseys vanishing overnight, Clark became the face of women's hoops almost instantly. Could UNRIVALED survive without her? The answer, it seems, was no. That's why this deal feels less like a shock and more like an inevitable play. Even Clark herself has fueled speculation. She hinted that those celebrating her absence from UNRIVALED may have spoken too soon. If that's true, her arrival would instantly lift the league from an experiment to a milestone moment in sports. And yet the secrecy, the whispers, the NDAs and private calls, it's all playing out like a spy thriller. Meanwhile, the WNBA watches closely. Now, in its 28th season, the league has spent decades fighting for mainstream recognition, and Clark's arrival was supposed to be the breakthrough. Her rookie year saw attendance skyrocket by more than 50%. She wasn't just selling tickets, she was the heartbeat of the season. But now, another league is knocking. If Clark takes her talents elsewhere, the implications stretch far beyond one player. This could be the start of a new era, one defined not just by competition, but by choice, leverage, and power. One thing is undeniable. Kaitlyn Clark is now the hottest name in women's sports, and wherever she plants her flag, whether with the Fever, the WNBA, or UNRIVALED, the entire basketball world will be forced to follow. But what really sparked this $75 million shock deal? Was it loyalty, strategy, or something fans never expected? Whispers began to swirl louder. Stories of a contract so massive, so unbelievable, it could flip women's basketball upside down. At the center of it all, Kaitlyn Clark, the rookie sensation who had already turned arenas into sold-out spectacles, was now tied to a figure that stunned even her biggest fans. $75 million. Not just for playing basketball, but for becoming the very face of UNRIVALED, the ambitious new league daring to challenge the WNBA and change the rules forever. To put it in perspective, Aja Wilson, the reigning WNBA MVP, makes about $230,000 annually. That's a great salary by league standards, but compared to Clark's rumored deal, it feels like pocket change. Could one rookie really command that kind of money? Or was UNRIVALED simply going all in, betting everything on one player who had already proven she could pull headlines, audiences, and global attention unlike anyone else? What made the story even wilder was how it was handled. Behind the scenes, Breanna Stewart, one of UNRIVALED's masterminds, reportedly wanted Clark's involvement locked down under absolute secrecy. The plan was to drop the news like a bombshell, build suspense, let the whispers grow, then unleash it in one dramatic reveal. But secrecy cuts both ways. Because once whispers spread, veterans in the women's game started asking questions. Players who had fought year after year for recognition suddenly wondered, why would a newcomer get superstar treatment and golden perks they'd never seen? And yet, Unrivaled's vision went beyond just one contract. Whispers suggest the deal came with endorsement bundles, guaranteed TV slots, and even promises of global expansion. This wasn't just about signing Clark. It was about building a movement. The timing couldn't have been more dramatic. Reports surfaced that TNT Sports had already agreed to air 45 Unrivaled games across 6 years, a package valued at more than $100 million. Visibility means power. And with the WNBA averaging around 657,000 viewers per game in 2024, suddenly Unrivaled's gamble on Clark started to look less like reckless spending and more like calculated strategy. The question everyone was asking became simple. Will Kaitlyn Clark truly become the face of a brand new league, still searching for its footing? Or is all of this just smoke, mirrors, and hype to stir headlines? No matter what, one thing is already clear. Women's basketball is evolving faster than ever. And whether the final figure is as staggering as reported or not, Kaitlyn Clark has proven one truth. She can make the entire sport stop, listen, and wonder. But what sparked this golden offer in the first place? And who really benefits most from it? Golden deal rumors weren't just headlines. They stirred up both excitement and tension across women's basketball, because fans could feel it every single time Kaitlyn Clark touched the floor. Arenas were louder, seats were fuller, and social media lit up instantly the moment her highlights hit the timeline. Her rise wasn't just about logo threes and flashy dimes. It was about what she represented, a new spotlight on women's hoops. But behind the hype, there was a storm brewing. A storm about money, fairness, and respect. Reports claimed Clark's potential deal could be worth more than 20 times the salary of most of her peers. For a rookie, that number was unheard of. Some fans cheered it as progress, while others whispered about the growing divide. Veterans like Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson reportedly earn between $150,000 and $200,000 per season. Suddenly, one newcomer might be walking into $75 million. Angel Reese, never afraid to speak her truth, even hinted online that years of sacrifice could feel overlooked when a rookie is handed the golden ticket. And can you blame her? Because while Clark has undeniably elevated attention around the league, the emotional toll on veterans who carried the WNBA for years can't just be ignored. So the question became clear. Is this simply the price of progress, or the spark of a deeper divide inside the women's game? But here's the flip side. For all the tension, Clark's rise is also being celebrated as a breakthrough moment. Women's basketball has spent decades demanding fair pay, better promotion, and a bigger stage. And now, if one young star's spotlight forces leagues, owners, and broadcasters to finally recognize the game's value, isn't that what so many have been fighting for? Maybe Clark isn't stealing the spotlight. Maybe she's just carrying a torch bright enough for everyone to see. The timing adds to the drama. The WNBA, now in its 28th season, is still battling for mainstream dominance. Ownership has been slow to invest, hesitant to expand, cautious with resources. In that light, Clark's rumored deal feels less about her individually and more about sending a message. Women's sports can no longer be treated as an afterthought. Still, you can't ignore the emotions bubbling underneath. Pride, excitement, envy, frustration, all colliding at once. Is this the breakthrough the WNBA has been waiting for? Or is it the start of new rivalries and locker room divides? One thing is certain. Kaitlyn Clark has become the heartbeat of the conversation, and women's basketball may never look the same again. But what makes her star power so unstoppable, sparking record-breaking bids and a tug-of-war between leagues? Stay tuned, because the story doesn't end here. Anyone watching closely knows Kaitlyn Clark isn't just another rookie. She's a phenomenon transforming women's basketball. The so-called Clark effect has been nothing short of explosive. From her first professional game, crowds swelled so much, arenas had to switch venues just to fit everyone in. Attendance skyrocketed by nearly 50%, and suddenly, the WNBA wasn't just showing up in sports columns. It was dominating headlines. On TV, Clark's games regularly pulled in over 1 million viewers, numbers the league had never touched before. Her jerseys sold out within hours, and highlight clips of no-look passes and deep threes went viral almost daily. She wasn't just raising the Fever's profile. She was pulling in an entirely new generation of fans who had never tuned into the WNBA before. For years, the league wanted a spark like this. Clark delivered it. But with fame comes competition. And while the WNBA embraced her rise, other leagues started circling. One surprising suitor? Ice Cube's Big Three League, a men's 3-on-3 circuit built on toughness and ex-NBA legends. The league had never chased a woman at this level. Until Kaitlyn Clark. Reports claimed they were prepared to offer her 6 times more than what their male stars were earning. To put that in perspective, the top Big Three players made between $100,000 and $500,000 a season. For Clark, Cube was allegedly ready to blow up that scale entirely. Why? Because Cube and his team understood the obvious. Clark wasn't just a player, she was a movement. Her charisma, her highlights, her ability to attract both diehard and casual fans made her more valuable than NBA veterans who'd been stars for decades. Now, scheduling conflicts made any crossover tricky. The WNBA and BIG 3 seasons overlapped, which made the logistics messy. But here's the point. The fact that the offer even went public shows just how disruptive Clark has become in the basketball world. So what does it mean moving forward? Could she remain the WNBA's brightest star while testing her power in rival leagues? Or will this constant tug of war push her career into completely uncharted territory? One thing is clear. Wherever Clark goes, the entire sports world will follow. Because Kaitlyn Clark isn't just changing games, she's changing the future of women's basketball itself. But what drove her bold decision to turn the basketball world upside down? And could it change everything we thought we knew about the sport? Stay locked in. The story keeps building. This wasn't just another quiet contract slipped across the table. It was loud, it was bold, and it was meant to shake the entire foundation of basketball. Ice Cube, the mastermind behind the Big Three, had set his sights on Kaitlyn Clark, and he wasn't afraid to disrupt the system to make it happen. With a league built on former NBA stars, plus legends like Lisa Leslie and Nancy Lieberman already coaching and contributing, Cube believed Clark could bring something entirely new. Star power that went beyond gender, beyond basketball, beyond sports. Her game wasn't simply women's basketball. It was a magnet pulling fans from every corner of the culture. But here's where it all flipped. Clark didn't jump at the money. She didn't chase the spotlight. She turned Ice Cube down. In an era where athletes often leap for quick paychecks, Clark's decision sent a very different message. It showed loyalty, purpose, and vision. She chose to plant her roots in the WNBA, not for fame, but to grow, compete, and build something bigger. To her, the W wasn't just a league, it was home. That choice left Unrivaled, the new startup league trying to rewrite women's basketball, in a strange spot. At first, Clark seemed like an afterthought. Their roster was nearly full, their launch well underway, but whispers started building. Had they underestimated her? Or were they just waiting for the perfect moment? No one knows. But when they came back with a $75 million offer, it was clear they understood one thing. Clark wasn't just another player. She was history in motion. Fans immediately saw the deal as something rare in modern sports. Principle over paycheck. Clark could have cashed in with Cube. She could have been the face of Unrivaled from day one. But instead, she chose the WNBA, proving her loyalty and commitment to building the league from within. That set a new gold standard, not just for contracts, but for leadership. Still, the speculation won't die. What if Clark had joined Cube's Big Three? Could that have sparked a cultural crossover moment no one had seen before? Or what if she'd embraced Unrivaled sooner, becoming their launch day superstar and rewriting their entire story? The questions linger, and maybe that's what makes her story even more magnetic. Because what we do know is this: Kaitlyn Clark isn't just a rookie sensation. She's a symbol of vision, ambition, and loyalty. Whether rejecting Cube's gamble or weighing Unrivaled's monster offer, every decision she makes feels less like a contract and more like a legacy. Fans aren't just watching her career unfold, they're watching a movement grow, one bold choice at a time. So what do you think made Kaitlyn Clark risk it all with this shocking deal? Was it money, fame, or something else entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.